This is episode number 10 with the 2014 BBC Apprentice winner and CEO of Climb Online, Mark Wright.
Welcome to Unleash Your Inner Greatness. My name's Joseph D. Bennardo, and each week I'll be bringing you an inspiring person or message to help you unleash your inner greatness. Thanks for spending some time with us today. Now let's get after it.
Richard Branson said, if someone offers you an amazing opportunity, but you are not sure you can do it, say yes, then learn how to do it later. And Jim Rohn said, you want to set a goal big enough that in the process of achieving it, you become someone worth becoming. In this episode, I love this chat with Mark Wright, and we talk about his journey of how he became the winner of the UK Apprentice in 2014. We chat about the success habits and the patterns that Mark identified of all the previous winners in the Apprentice and how you can apply those in your business and life. What Mark learnt from his grandfather, who was quite influential to him in the early years, and how that shaped who he is today. And Mark's rituals to become more positive in business and life. Now, guys, to get the full show notes, head over to my website, josephdbernardo.com/10, and make sure you share this with all your friends on social media. Hit me up. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was from this. I would absolutely love to know. Guys, I'm really pumped and excited to introduce you to Mark Wright. He's an amazing entrepreneur, a very humble man. And without further ado, let's jump into today's episode with the 2014 winner of the BBC Apprentice, Mark Wright. Guys, welcome back to this week's episode of Unleash Your Inner Greatness. This week's guest is so inspiring, and I can't wait to dig into this week's episode. Mark Wright is an award-winning entrepreneur, motivational speaker, and self-taught digital marketing specialist who made his name winning the Apprentice TV show in 2014 and now runs several successful businesses, including one of the UK's most successful digital marketing agencies, Climb Online, which within the first 12 months generated £1.6 million in turnover, which is absolutely phenomenal. Mark made the Forbes 30 Under 30 in 2017 and was named Entrepreneur of the Year in 2018 at the UK Business Awards. And it all started from humble beginnings when he arrived to London as a backpacker from Australia. A young, ambitious and tenacious leader, Mark retains his humble country values and is one of the most humble and present individuals I know, who genuinely wants to help businesses to elevate their brand through digital marketing. I'm really excited and absolutely honoured and privileged to introduce you to one of the UK's most formidable apprentice winners and the CEO of Climb Online, Mark Wright. Mark, welcome to Unleash Your Inner Greatness.
What an introduction. Bloody hell, that was awesome. Well done.
We got there in the end.
Yeah, I loved it. I sound pretty good.
Thanks firstly
Hey, thank
for
you for having
making
me.
the time. It's so good to have you on.
It's good to be interviewed by a fellow Australian.
It's good.
You're my second Australian interview after SBS ever.
Oh, okay.
Can you believe that?
Walking in the footsteps of greatness, right?
Yeah.
SBS.
Haven't got far to go up from there.
They got nothing on us. So, look, I wanted to ground you in a good place to start with.
Yep.
And just really wanted to ask what you're most grateful for in your life right now, and what was the highlight of last year for you?
Oh, mate, I'm incredibly fortunate. I don't know many people as fortunate as I am. I have nothing to complain about. I won the lottery being born in Australia. You know, if you were born in England, America, or Australia, Canada, places like that, you've got no excuses not to be grateful for the best life, because you've got clean drinking water, you probably have a safe place to live, and everything can only go up from there. It's just such a nice life. I was born in the country, as you said, and You know, I had such a nice upbringing. My parents are together. It was a very simple, happy life. And I think that, like, that's what I'm grateful for. You know, I never had any dramas. I've never lived in a war-torn area. And, you know, being successful in business is hard, but it's nothing like some people have to go through just to survive.
Yeah.
So I'm really humble for, you know, my great parents. I have two amazing brothers. My grandparents have taught me so much over the years. And it's pretty easy for me to be successful because I got no excuses not to be. And that's what I'm happy about. I had such a nice life up until this point, and anything from now is a bonus.
And what was the highlight last year for you? Is there anything that stood out in terms of, you know, great wins for the business or personal?
Last year was an interesting year. The numbers of the business kind of stood still. As my company's been growing, it's just been like this and this and this and this, every, like, ridiculous trajectory every single year. And last year I made some decisions to really aggressively grow. My numbers are good. We were doing like a £2-3 million a year turnover. I wanted to take it to 10. Now, to go to 10, you need to take the profits and invest it back into the business. We had to double the amount of offices, double the amount of staff. So there was a lot of risk there. I put all of that money in, all the profits. We went from like 700, 800,000 pounds a year profits. I put them all back into the business, much to the distress of the board and people around me. They were like, if you get this wrong, we're a loss-making company.
Yeah.
And for the first few months we did it, it didn't look good. And I was like, shit, you know, have I made the right decision? And sure enough, we started ramping up at rates that we could never imagine. And this is really important for people, anyone out there that wants to have a big business. When you find a little bit of success, don't just hold on to that little bit and be happy with the small amount of money that you're making. You need to remember what got you the small amount and go out and really amplify it. Just literally double the amount of marketing, double the amount of salespeople, double the amount of produce, product, whatever you have, because that's the only way you get bigger. And that's what stops a lot of people from getting to the size that they really want to get to, is a conservative mindset. And I found myself, we got to 1.9 million turnover and I was like living pretty comfortably. And I was like, I don't really need to push it any further. And I was like, fuck it, that's not who I am. Double down, put all the profits back in, put it all back in. And I think I learnt a lot last year about, if you want to scale, you need to take risks. You need to put all back into the business. And it was what I learned. I mean, winning UK Entrepreneur of the Year was amazing. I love that. We won Best Cultured Workplace in the UK, Best Entrepreneurs Team of the Year. Amazing. But it's what I learned. It's what I learned. I got to spend 9 days with Grant Cardone on the road speaking for the 10X UK tour.
Yeah.
I think if I had to pick one thing, it would be that.
Yeah.
I think Grant was such an inspirational, motivational guy, and he kind of fueled me up, because I saw him at the end of the year and I was so stressed and so tired from everything. I'd worked 15 hours a day, 7 days a week, all year, 10 months, and I met him and he made me feel like it was all worthwhile. He kind of looked me in the eyes before we got on his jet. He said, "You're the second person that I've ever taken on my jet."
Wow.
And he said, "I only ask one thing of you before we agree to go on my jet, and you have to agree to it." He said, "I can see in you you're going to be an exceptional entrepreneur. That's why you're coming on. And one day when you have your jet, you have to bring on an entrepreneur that's on the way up as well." That was the one deal. And I was like, what a guy this guy is. And I was so inspired, and I learned so much from him over that 9-day tour. And we spoke to so many people. We spoke to over 5,000 people. We helped so many people and change their lives and get their businesses going and get on the right track in their life. That whilst I'd done so well in my business last year, I got more out of helping other people than I could have ever hoped for out of the business. And it kind of made me realize where my life's going. Yes, I'm going to be a successful person in business. Yes, I want to grow my companies. But more than ever now, I want to do things like this and teach people what I've been taught from Alan Sugar, from Grant Cardone, and how to change their life, how to think differently, how to be different, how to run their business different, because they know the answers, these guys. And it's pretty simple stuff if you can convey it in the right way, which I think I can.
Oh, you can take so much just out of even that intro piece of what you just said, so much you can learn. And last week we were at an event here in the office.
Yep.
And one thing I learned, a couple of things I learned from you at that event is the way that the way that we sell these days is quite different as well, because I learnt two things from that event. One, that you were just given immense amount of value, not selling, like just providing immense value.
Yep.
And not selling at the end. You were literally just giving the crowd so much value.
Yeah.
And then everyone was coming up and asking you questions. So you sell through giving value.
Yeah.
But the other story that I absolutely love that you said, Mark, was that story about when you were speaking because you speak for schools and charities for free. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Can you tell us a little bit about that story?
Yeah, touching on the first point first, I made a decision a long time ago. I went and saw a guy speak, and he did this strategy which speakers use called the Pied Piper, which he brought he showed the full value of the product, he showed a special offer, and then he said, if you want the special offer, you have 5 minutes and you need to chase me out into the street, and he ran out, and it was so cringy. And I made a decision right then and there that I want to help people, and I want to educate people, and I want to teach them how to be the best versions of themselves. But I don't want to sell to them. I want to offer them so much value and teach them so much, but that leaves them with no choice other than have to work with me. So whenever I speak to someone, I teach them so much that they're overwhelmed and go, he is so good, I have to work with his company, I have to buy from him, whatever. And then if they don't, they don't. I haven't sold to them, and they leave with knowledge. And if they do, I know that I've earned the sale.
Yeah.
I have to feel I've earned it. I deserve their money. And that's the way I've always wanted to be. And it works so well because people come to my speaking events and they know they're not going to get sold to. They know they're going to learn a lot. They know they're going to leave with so much more than they bargained for or paid for. And that is what I want the news to be out of every time I speak. So thank you for that. Secondly, when I won The Apprentice, I got asked for hundreds and hundreds of interviews, public talks, speeches, whatever it was. And it's really hard when you first get going. I was 24 when I won the show. Young, I was a young bloke. I'm not that young now. And it's hard to know what the right thing to do is. You know, where to put your time, what's going to make you money, what's going to give back in the right way. Because I get asked to donate to 10 charities a day to speak at 50 events. And you've really got to be clever you've almost got to scope it out like a business plan. So I do one school a quarter, or one charity a quarter, where I go and give a free talk, like what you've seen me do, where I teach them about business, finance, digital marketing, and I just go and give my time for free. If a company wants to do it, it's £1,500 an hour, right? So it's my way of giving back. It's my way of helping people, whatever, and I love it. I absolutely love it, and I just wish I could do it all the time, but financially it wouldn't make sense. Yeah. So I've been going to all these schools, and the board call me in, and they say, listen, you've been to like 6 schools in the last 4 months, it's just too much, you're giving your time away for free way too much, the business isn't getting anything out of it. Like, you're going to a school next week where you're speaking to 8 to 12-year-olds about The Apprentice and business and whatever, and that's not going to help climb online. And I said to them, look, I'm not going there to get business. I'm not going there to get a sale. I'm going there just to help kids, because I would have loved a guy like me to come into the school and just motivate me about business, because all the shit I learned at school I couldn't use in the real world. I'm going there and telling them stuff that hopefully I get more entrepreneurs out of the room and give back, and they can look back and do an interview one day and say, at my school, Mark Wright came in, changed my life. I was taking drugs, or I was going to fucking kill myself, or any of this stuff, and this one talk from the guy changed my life. Because if I help one person in that way, you can never repay that. And that's what I'm thinking. They say you can't go, right? So let me do one more, and because I've already agreed, and then I'll go to one every 3 months, which it is now. Anyway, so I go and give a talk at a school, and this young girl comes up to me, and she says, hey, can you do my dad's SEO? And she waited. There's like 100 people waiting for a photo, for a signature, whatever. She waits, this young girl, and then the crowd kind of disperses over 15, 20 minutes. And she goes, hi, can you do my dad's SEO? And I said, well, I can't give my card to children, but if your dad contacts me on LinkedIn, I'd love to do his SEO. Anyway, so I thought nothing more of it. I left, whatever. 4 days later, her dad reaches out to me on LinkedIn, and her dad is the CEO of Emirates Holidays, Imagine Cruising, multi-millionaire, hundreds of millions of pounds of turnover. And he says, can you do my SEO? I was literally gobsmacked. I drive to Swindon to meet this guy. He signs up. They become our biggest customer.
Wow.
We go on to make hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pounds together in business deals, with Climb Online, travel around the world. They took me to South Africa, Australia, Dubai, everywhere to set up and build their digital marketing campaigns and strategies. Got me in with Emirates. It was just, got me in with the Bennardo group. It was one of the most, it was a game changer. It changed my life. One deal can change your business, can change your life. One meeting of a person, someone else has a connection that could change your life. And the only way you can get to that is through meeting people, through giving value to people. And I taught some young girl at a school in Swindon about SEO, and I taught it so well and wanted nothing back, so much so that her dad signed up and became my biggest customer and changed my life. And it was just an amazing timing because it was the last school talk I was going to do. I'd had to beg to be there. Really weird experience, but I'll never forget it, and I'll with that till the day I die. That story, and off the back of that, you know, so many good things have happened.
Have come.
Yeah,
It's such a powerful story. I wanted to share that because I think the listeners will get so much more than just the story, the giving back, and so that's awesome. Mate, you do have an inspirational story.
Thanks,
you know,
mate.
I know that your parents were quite entrepreneurial. They had this. I'll let you expand on this, but from what I've heard, they used to own, you know, a sports shop, and your mum used to have the hair salon.
Yeah.
I'd love for you to tell the listeners about your journey. Could you take us back to the humble beginnings and give us just a brief overview on what the life of Mark Wright has been like, and how did you get to where you are today?
Oh, thanks, mate. Well, it's a really interesting thing because I don't come from like a poor background. Like my parents weren't poor, they weren't rich. It's the weirdest thing. It's actually probably like most people. I suspect that most people live what I call quiet lives of desperation. My parents worked bloody hard. Yeah. I've never seen people work as hard as my mum and dad, and they were literally working 10, 12-hour days every day. My dad worked 6 and 7 days a week when we were growing up just to survive, just to pay the bills. And it was always, the conversation at the dinner table was like, how are we going to cover the school fees? The electricity bill is crazy. Like, turn the light off in your room, you know? And you used to get an absolute bollocking if you didn't turn the light off in your room. And I just remember thinking, this is mad. Like, you know, like turning the light off. Who gives a shit? How much does that cost to leave on that piece of shit, you know? And when I was a kid, I knew that I was a bit different. In terms of like, I would hear these talks about how are we going to cover the school fees? Oh, the car needs a service again. Oh, this. The stress of covering the bills was always the conversation at the dinner table.
Yeah.
And my mum was a hairdresser. She owned a chain of 2 or 3 hair salons, and she worked bloody hard, like really long hours. And what I learned about exchanging money for time is when you're sitting there cutting someone's hair, you're standing there cutting one person's hair. You're only making one deal at this time. And when she got more other people cutting hair and you're getting money from them, okay, I was like, okay, I get it. If you get other people in on your deal and you're getting a cut of their deal, it makes more sense, right? But you've got to be an easier way. You can't be that stressed about money. So she was working as a hairdresser, and she was working as at McDonald's in the evening as a cleaner. Wow. Right? And I went to McDonald's once, and she was like doing something, cleaning something, and I was like, this is messed up. This sucks, right? I'm going to be so rich one day that my mum's not going to have to be a cleaner at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And my dad, he just worked crazy hours. He was gone every day at 7, out the door, and he'd be in the door at 7. 12 hours every day, Monday to Saturday, right? That's it. And from the moment I was sort of born until I was 16, 17, I never really seen him Monday to Friday because he was at work all the time. I was at school or I was asleep when he was around, and I never saw him. But the work ethic was just insane, but the money wasn't coming in. And as a kid, I was just so confused, and I was like, right, I just remember it. I'd listen to the conversation around the dinner table. I was like, I'm going to fix this because I don't know what's going on, but if we've got to turn that light off to save like 8 cents, this isn't working, this deal. Anyway, so I kind of think that's where my motivation came through, because what I took from them, instilled from them, was good ethics, good morals and hard work. But what I needed to do was scale up, do something bigger, because they were working so hard in a small business where the money coming back in, exchanging for your hours, was just not enough to cover the lifestyle.
Yeah.
And you're kind of a prison to your mortgage, to the school fees, to all of this stuff. I'm like, we need a better situation. And my dad still works so hard now, still 7 till 7, still Monday to Friday, Saturday, every week. And we argue about stuff because I'm like, I've come out and changed the way of thinking. So I don't know, I leave lights on and all this shit now. I don't give a I'm like, let's just make so much money, that doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm not wasteful, but I don't think about that sort of stuff. So I'll give you an example. He mows the lawn. On his one day off, every week he mows the lawn. Takes him 2.5 hours. On a push mower on a 1 acre piece of land, he pushes it up, pushes it down, and he used to make me do it, right? I remember doing it and I thought, what a waste of my time this shit is. I'm not doing that. Can we pay someone to do this? He says, well, no, because they won't do it the same. This, that, and the other. I said, okay, let's work this out. How much do you get paid per hour? How much will it cost? $8 to get someone to do the lawn. That's not worth it. Oh, you're full of shit, blah, blah, blah. And we have a huge argument, right? And then he bought a car. I said, never buy a car. We lease the car because we can't make money from that car. And like, he's so old fashioned and I'm really new school and we clash on everything. I say cars aren't good assets. Mortgages aren't good assets. Mowing the lawn's not a good use of time. Cleaning the house is not a good use of time. So if you go to my house now, my car's leased. Everything's leased, right? Because I want a new one every year, every 2 years. I have a cleaner in the house. I have people mowing the lawn. I have people doing all that stuff so I can be here making real money. Because whenever I'm cleaning, whenever I'm mowing the lawn, I'm not making money which releases you from school fees, from mortgages, from turning the light off. And it's the old school thinking which keeps a lot of people living just here in the middle. Not poor, not rich, just here in the middle. And I fight with my dad. He'll watch this. Oh, look at him talking shit again about this, that, and the other. And I love it because it reminds me what my message is. It's so good. I really love it.
It reminds me of home.
Exactly.
The old days.
And it's just, it really is. And our parents are teaching us the wrong things. Not on purpose. They think they're doing the right thing. Work hard. Yes, work hard. Go to school and learn as much as you can. Okay. And be good to other people. Yeah, I've got that. Get your house and pay it up. Whoa, hang on.
It's the
now
money.
It's the money. It's the
money.
education about money that they've been taught wrong. Their parents were taught wrong. We're getting taught wrong. And we're teaching. It's just this cycle of bullshit.
Wrong information.
Wrong information. 95% of people finish at the age of 65 broke.
Wow.
95% of people finish at the age 65 broke. And the pension, with the inflation that we have through our pensions at the moment, it's going to get worse. And if you are reliant that you're going to get a mortgage and your employment is going to pay down that mortgage and then you're going to get to 65 and have money, the maths doesn't work. Let me tell you now, the maths doesn't work, right? Don't let anyone else tell you that, people hear me talk. They hear Robert Kiyosaki, Grant Cardone, Tony Robbins, Gary Vaynerchuk, and they think we're crazy. We think you all are crazy, right? And we're trying to beg people, don't do that. Don't do that. Do this. Invest, have assets, have people pay you for things. Don't pay others for things. If you're paying the bank and getting no money back, that's not a good deal. That's just, I don't know how the other way to describe it. If you have an asset, which is someone pays you every month for something, that's a good deal. But we're not taught that. And that's what I'm trying to get in really quickly to the school kids.
You won The Apprentice. So that was, ultimately you come to the UK, you did a bit of travel, you come here, you won The Apprentice. I do want to talk about the money mindset a bit because that's real important, so we'll get onto that. But one thing that I listened to and I read is that one thing that ultimately helped you to win The Apprentice is that you were studying the success patterns of the previous
well, you've done your research.
And you said that there were certain patterns that they had that enabled them to win the show.
Yeah.
Mate, I was just wondering, what were those patterns, and how do you still use those patterns in business today?
Yeah, great question, and really well researched. I approached The Apprentice like I approached everything in life and in business. So I found out I was going on the show, and the producers, two producers, they were really lovely ladies. They said to me, "Have you ever seen the show?" I said, "I haven't." They said, "Go home, because you're on. Go home and watch some episodes, because you're not going to know what you're in for. Look up who Lord Sugar is, watch some episodes, whatever." I thought, okay, here's what I'm going to do. I Wikipedia'd every winner. Who's won, right? So this person, and I noted down all the winners. I went back to season 1 and I watched each season, but I watched the winner because I knew who would win, and I watched their process. And I was trying to look for patterns to pick up on that I could replicate to win, right? That just makes sense. People have already done this. I don't need to do it for the first time. Someone else has already won this. How did they go about doing it? And if I just do the same thing, I'll win. That was my sort of theory, right? It worked. Yeah. So basically what I established really quickly was, you don't want to be project manager in week 1. That's just a disaster. That is a mathematical disaster. Okay. I mean, anyone can work that out. When you're project manager in week 1, Lord Sugar doesn't know who you are. You are just a number. So statistically, you have a 50-50 chance of going out on the first round if you're the project manager.
Right.
I didn't like those odds. So I was not being project manager round 1, because that's a statistical nightmare. So I was not project manager week 1. And then I knew by week 2, once he could get to know me and I could build rapport with him, he could start to see that I had potential. And the strategy was this. What he does is he is looking for, when he asks a question to a collective group, "Oh, what happened on this? What happened on that?" He's looking to see who the contestants look to answer the question.
Right.
And I picked this up really quickly. What he's looking for is a person you can put in an environment and they'll control the environment. We're seeing each other 24 hours a day, 7 days a week for 12 weeks. There's going to be someone that rises through the ranks in the house and on the task as a power player. Someone that the other people go, "He's probably got the right answer." So when Sugar goes, boom, asks a question, and all the people look to me or to whoever the previous winners were, he goes, "That's the one." The other people have already decided that's the winner, because that's the powerful person and most powerful people will tell you that you can walk into any room and you'll feel who the most powerful person in the room is straight away. No different than The Apprentice.
Wow. That's, and we were talking before we started taping about Grant Cardone's presence and the energy. How important is energy as part of building an overall business, and how do you elevate both your employees' energy and your own? Is it important?
I think it's one of the most important things.
Yeah.
How you feel someone's energy and their sincerity and all of that stuff is really important. So you will feel a successful person before you know they're successful. The way they carry themselves. Everyone will dress different. Dress is important. Dress tells you about how you feel about you.
Yeah.
You don't need to tell others. How you feel about you is how you dress. Uh-huh. But how you carry yourself, when you shake someone's hand, when you look at them, when you listen to them, that will tell us everything you need to know about someone. And that energy when you come into a room. Alan Sugar, when he walks into a room, it feels like power is in the room, because he is so confident of everything he's built over 70 years. His confidence is his power. He dresses however the fuck he wants. I've seen him dress in everything from tracksuit pants to jeans to the best suits you've ever seen. Full circle. Grant Cardone's energy is like high. It's like a kid full of candy. He comes in and you almost feel happier in his presence, like someone's put like some sort of drug in the air. Someone's released some sort of stuff into the air, because he comes in, you just feel better. You feel motivated about life, about your own potential. And yeah, energy is a really important thing. And I want, when anyone meets me, I don't mind what they say about me, but I want them to leave feeling better about themselves. Because if people can leave feeling better about themselves, I've done a successful job. They don't need to feel good about me. That's my job to feel good about me.
Yeah.
I don't need anyone to say he's a great bloke, he's a bad bloke, whatever. I need them to say, fuck, I feel, every time I go near that guy, feel like I'm getting more successful, and that's what I want the message to be.
That's powerful.
Yeah.
I remember my grandfather, his famous quote was, leave everyone smelling like a rose.
That's it.
So, you know, and actually, I mean, speaking about grandfathers, I know that yours was Peter Torbe.
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
he was quite influential as part of your life.
Yep.
Mate, could you tell us what you learnt from? Because the reason why I want to ask you this is I think people influence us quite early on in life. So how has he moulded you as the person that you are today?
Oh, I was, again, like I said at the start, so lucky to have the people around me, because when you're born, from when you're born to about 11, you're just susceptible to anything you hear, what religion you think, your mannerisms, your manners, everything is built from your adolescence. Now, if that is bad, that period, you have junkies as parents, you have bad grandparents, you're gonna have a hard road into your mid-20s. I had a very, nice structured environment. So I had two granddads, Cliff Wright and Peter Torbe, completely different individuals, my two granddads. They couldn't get two polar opposites. Super religious, not religious at all, right? Really naughty with the women, very loyal to his wife, like just, couldn't be further apart. But they had characteristics which were the same. And they're the ones I took. Both 7 days a week work. Both owned their own businesses, right? And I have never seen either, and I've been around a long time in business, work as hard as they worked. Like they would be in their shops, and they own shops in the same town. So, and you got to think I'm like 5 years old, driving around with my mum and dad, go and visit granddads at work. Okay, what I'm picking up is I go in there, they're already there. They always both dressed fucking sharp, cologne, slick back hair, sharp dudes. Both the boss, own offices. They own the business, all the staff going to them. So I'm just watching all of this. Okay, so all the men in my life, my two granddads and my dad, are the boss of their works. They own their works. The staff go to them. They're always talking about business, rents, leases, whatever. So all I'm picking up as a kid, my message is you need to own your own business, right? You need to work really long hours. You need to work really hard. And this is all going in, all this information.
Yeah.
And they always told me that the key to success was hard work.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really hard lessons. It was like, you've just got to work harder than everyone else. Even if your idea's a bit shit, you'll still beat people if you work harder.
Right.
And my granddad said to me, listen, use a business. I made a video about this recently. It was great advice. I was at McDonald's having coffee with him. He said, do you know if you want to be rich? And I was like, fucking anything about money. I'm like, what? Tell me. He's like, do you know if you want to be rich? Get a small business, get profits from that business, build that business up, and create what he called a poultice of money. Use that money to buy property and land. And then you will have money coming in forever. And I'm like 6 or 7 years old, and this is the information that's coming in.
Wow.
And it was different information from what I was being told from my mum and dad. So I'm like, oh, this is naughty, you shouldn't be, this is great, give me more of this. And the thing is, I can still see that conversation right now. I can't remember what happened last week. I can still see that conversation as clear as day today, because you're so susceptible to that information.
Yeah.
And that's why the stuff we're teaching kids and the junk that's going into kids now through Netflix and TV and internet, iPads, and at school, they're not hearing that stuff. They're not hearing that's all the stuff they're seeing is, you need to have a yacht and have piles of money because Instagram's showing that, but that's not realistic. And when you're in trouble, we need to teach people the right things.
It's powerful. The lessons are so powerful.
Yeah.
They're so influential as part of, I was going to say over and above that, mentorship is something that, the famous Jim Rohn used to say, you are the average of the 5 people that you hang around.
Yep.
Now you have Lord Alan Sugar as your direct mentor from The Apprentice.
Yep.
When you sit with Lord Alan Sugar,
Yep.
can you take us through how does he mentor you? You know, what specifically do you want from him? What are the sort of questions that you front up to that session for? And
it's a really weird thing. He's very similar to my old man, very tough love. You've never done a good job. Nothing's ever going good. It's always can be, anything that's really good, he'll say, not bad, can be improved. It's like you could come in with the best number possible. He goes, not bad. And that's kind of like the highest accolade you're ever going to get. Everything's either shit, bad, okay. And it's like, I think it's the way he mentors me is really tough love, really strict. You know, he's ruthless with like checking, you know, what hours are you doing? Like, it goes back to the same as my granddad. You know, how hard are you working? What are the hours you're doing? Can we do any more? You know, and the thing that he can demand of me. So last night we finished up like 12:30, 1 o'clock this morning. Like we worked all, like most of the night, and I had some sleep because I knew I was doing this. That's like a normal Tuesday night, right? And the thing that why he can demand that hard work and that stress is because he's prepared to work it himself.
Yeah, right.
So he knows if he's going to demand I work till 1 o'clock this morning and send him an email, he's going to write back. And that's another key is don't demand something of others that you don't demand of yourself. If you're telling people to look good, to smell good, to work hard, and you're not prepared to do those things, don't fucking tell them to do something you're not, right? So you can only demand of others what you demand of yourself.
That's a good point.
And when I sit with him, I always meet with him for one day, every month, I take a list of questions that I want to get from that session. Some months it'll be about purely climb online. Other months, random business stuff. Other months, questions I've got on my mind about property. What it could be, he'll answer anything. Now, sometimes I'll go there and he's in the best mood and he'll spend 3 hours going through one item with me. Other days I'll go there, he might have lost fucking 15 million, 20 million pounds and he does not want to speak to me much that day.
Right.
And you've got to understand he owns like 17 businesses. That there's so much going on. He could make 50 million pound a day, he could lose 20 million pound in a day, that he's got stuff going on as well. So some days I'm going to get there and it's going to be a good mood day, some it's not going to be great. And it's not all, you know, The Apprentice is a TV show.
Yeah.
That's fake. That's fake stuff. Business is real. And some days when I've gone in there and he's had a bad day, it's a bad day. What would wipe a normal person out for 10 lifetimes. So
you kind of just judge it and...
I go in there and I talk to his PA and I say, how's today? Get whatever you need today. So I'm in there, can you speak at this event? Can we do this? And then other days she's like, so I go in there, is there anything you need today? No, I'm out that door.
It's purely business.
Purely business.
You
got to know with everyone that they're a human being.
Yeah.
No one's a robot, a business or money-making robot. People are human beings.
Yeah.
They've got girlfriends, boyfriends, people that are ill in their life, days they make profits, days they make losses. You need to manage everyone on a daily basis.
Yeah.
When you meet someone in the street, you don't know what's happened to them today.
Yeah, true.
So you need to manage that moment. Sometimes you'll meet someone and they'll be an absolute prick the first time you meet them.
Yeah. Doesn't
mean they're a prick. They could have told their fucking wife got cancer that morning. You don't know what's happened. So you've got to deal with that moment and always come in and give people multiple opportunities. And I've learned that over a long period of time. So I always give people the absolute benefit of the doubt. I'm always the best version of myself that I can be because I know that people will feed off my energy. And I've gone into board meetings or in mentoring sessions with Alan Sugar where I'm in a shit mood because I've had a tough day and the meeting goes shit.
Right.
Because I'm bringing bad energy.
Yeah. I'm
bringing a bad vibe into that room. And the lady Lindsay that I take with me to the board meeting, sometimes she says to me that, you know, your energy was down. And when you're up, the whole meeting goes really well because he feeds off your energy and you feed off his. So I need to take responsibility for that as well. And you'll notice it sometimes yourself when you meet someone and you're so high energy and so that moment in impact is so high from you, they come up. So it needs to be a 50-50 deal as well.
How do you keep that? What are your rituals like? 'Cause
Oh, man.
how do you keep your personal mindset, clean and positive, and I suppose how do you be realistic
hard.
as well, authentic as well?
Really hard. And anyone who tells you it's not hard is lying.
Yeah.
Bullshit. Right? Straight away. So listening to music really helps.
Okay.
I listen to music whenever I do two things when I'm on the tube or in the car. Listen to podcasts, really high motivational stuff,
Yeah.
and music, that really helps. And I remind myself, so before I go and meet anyone, I'll have a moment to myself, and sometimes I'll feel shit. I'll be tired, I'll be hungry, whatever it might be, and I'll say, this person, it's not their fault you're tired, you're hungry, you're whatever, and your moment will pass of being tired and hungry, whatever. If you go in there and you fake the first minute of being super energetic, super happy, guess what happens? You'll become super energetic and super happy, and you'll have a great time. If you go in there, I don't really want to be here, come on, can we hurry up? The whole thing just goes downhill from there. So it's almost managing it in little micro moments to bring the day up. Sometimes if I'm struggling, I'll just stop whatever I'm doing and I go outside and I'll just go for a walk.
Okay.
And I'll try and have a reset and go, today's not really going for me. I don't feel good. So let's just stop. Let's go outside, grab a coffee, and let's come in like it's a new day and go again. And that's the only way I've figured out how to do it. You need enough sleep. You need enough exercise. You need enough water. They're really basic things. Don't eat too much at lunchtime. That's one thing I've messed up on way too much, is like you get stressed and you overeat during the middle of the day, and then your afternoon, you lose the afternoon. So it's quite important to kind of manage what's going in and out of your body and move with pace. I move through with pace all day, and that really helps.
Thanks, mate. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I want to touch on that because I'm sure you agree. I think mental health in the news and statistically is such a problem as well.
Yeah.
One question that came to me this morning that I did want to ask, because I'm curious how organisations manage this, but when someone is dealing with things in their own personal life, this podcast is about self-worth and self-belief, because I think if you get that foundation right, then that helps you succeed in business.
Yeah.
What's your strategy to help the soldiers on your floor to maintain good, I suppose it's an individual's role to maintain their own personal well-being, but sometimes they have a flat day. So what does Climb Online do as an organisation to elevate perhaps the well-being of their staff and to support the well-being of their staff from a mental health point of view?
Amazing question.
Yeah.
And this is something I've been owning this company now. This is my 4th year. And it's something that's really come into effect more and more in the last 2. And particularly as we're getting more people. Mental health is such a key thing in any business right now. We have multiple strands. We have a HR department who meets with everyone regularly. And that's not about, they have a manager. Each person has a line manager, which talks to them about your job. Are you doing your job well? Where can you improve? How's your job going? We have a HR manager who is, how are you being managed, and how is your health? How is your mental state? How is your physical health? How is your mental health? And we're not here to say, oh, you're a bit fat, let's get some apples in and go down the gym. It's not like that. It's like, how are you feeling? Are you getting enough sleep? Are you seeing your family? Are you having work-life balance? Now, we do this because we really care about our people.
Yeah.
And everyone is so different. We'll have guys that sit there and say, I don't fucking need to see HR, I was a load of shit, blah, 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 blah. They probably need it the most because they've probably got some real messy stuff going on. The ladies or the guys that sit there with a box of tissues crying at every moment, they're generally pretty fine. That's just how they get on. Yeah. But it's very important that we take each case by case, understand each individual and what's happening in their life. Yeah. Now, that's not for me to understand as the director and the owner of the company.
Of course. Yeah.
I employ someone who really gets in and understands that, her sister's unwell and her performance on that is probably in reflection to that.
Yeah.
So we need to understand that. And she reports that back to me. My job is to understand what's happening at work.
Yeah.
And I have someone else understanding what's happening behind that person.
Yeah.
We have people come in. We have motivational speakers come in. We have mental health experts come in and work with the managers to understand their people. Yeah. We do so much. We really try. We have summer parties, we have summer hours, we have all this stuff embedded into our workforce so people stay with us forever.
Yeah.
And it comes from the top. I genuinely want people to stay with me for as long as possible and be the best version of themselves. I want them to run businesses outside. I want them to do podcasts. I want them to write books. I want them to have great bodies and do whatever it is they want to do, because if they're doing outside what they want to do, they don't feel like they need to leave me to be who they need to be.
Yeah.
And they'll give their best performance here.
It's so different than the normal corporate world. It's
Yeah.
so inspiring, mate.
Oh, mate, I appreciate it.
really
And
is.
we're getting it right.
Yeah.
And we entered an award with some of the biggest companies in the country last year for Best Culture Workplace Entrepreneurs Team of the Year. And we won. And there was some companies in there that were just insane, billions of pounds of turnover. And we won because we have, you know, a psychologist come in, and we have all of these stuff, and we understand our people. And I was like, everyone should be doing that, you know? And they're like, oh, that's, you know, so innovative that you do this and this and this. And I thought, that's crazy. Like, we have, each team has a fruit basket and a water thing. Little things have made such a big impact on the overall health of our people.
Yeah.
And if your people are healthy, they're happy. And when they're happy, the work is better. So I make more money. So that seems like a kuna matata to me. That works.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I'm still learning. I'm still learning every day. And sometimes you'll get a fucking nutter. You'll get a mad person come in here and they will rot the whole infrastructure of the boat. My granddad always said, one rotten apple can rot the whole tree. And you need to be so careful, because you'll get a person come into the organization who's a bad individual. They've got to go. And the key is learning who you can fix and who needs to go. Some people need to leave your organization. They might have been there for too long and their goodness has expired.
Yeah.
Something might have happened in their life that you can't fix, or they might be wrong for your business. And that's if people say, oh, you know, businesses with high turnover of staff and all of this, some can be fixed. It's all right to turn over staff. It's all right to turn over customers. People need a change. Change is good as a holiday. But as the owner of a business, you need to understand, I need to keep this person because they're amazing, and I need to let this one go because they're not amazing.
Yeah.
And it all works within that whole balance as well. Because sometimes the best thing for someone's mental health is you getting rid of them.
100%.
Yeah. And that was a hard thing. And again, I've learned this over years of experience.
Mate, what's your biggest personal challenge at the moment? Are you going through something personally that you would like to improve on as part of your life?
Oh, definitely, mate,
individually?
definitely. Like I said, talking about my granddads, I'm harder on myself than anyone's harder on me.
Self-critic.
Yeah, I'm the hardest. If I could impress myself, I'd be doing a half good job. My health, I always want my health to be better.
Yeah.
My health is really important to me, but I'm not where I want to be with that. I'm not spending enough time exercising. I'm not spending enough time eating the right foods because I'm working too much.
Yeah.
But I'm creating my blame game. I'm saying, oh, I'm working till 11 o'clock so I can have a Red Bull. I can have a Mars bar because I'm working so hard. That's bullshit. I could also have good food and work till 11 o'clock.
Yeah.
Or if I ate better food, maybe I could get that work done by 9 o'clock. So am I just creating the blame? Definitely. So my health could much be better. My stress levels could be much better. I own 5 businesses.
Yeah.
I employ over 60 people. I film at least 1 podcast a week. I have my own Instagram channel, which I do all my own content on. I have 5 directors I need to work with. I attend 5 board meetings a month. I speak on at least 3 stages a month. I work. This weekend, I had my first day off in 2019. So we went 3 months. I had 1 day off.
Wow.
In 3 months. And that's not good. And I always am an advocate of working hard, beating your competition, but I have done it too, gone a bit hard there. And what I start to notice is my health.
Yeah.
I'm not getting out running. I'm not going to the gym. I'm not eating well. I haven't seen friends for 6-7 months, and they're like, it's been 6 months. So yeah, they're like,
give us some love.
Come on, man. So you've got to have some form of balance. And
Yeah.
these entrepreneurs that you see on these types of things, and they say, you need to do 24 hours, and you need to sleep 4 hours, and you need to eat fucking green leaves. It's all bullshit. Lord Sugar sleeps 7-8 hours. Grant Cardone 7-8 hours. Me 7-8 hours. They eat good and bad food. They have days where they miss the gym. You've got to have that. You've got to have that. And just the same with work. Working 7 days a week for 3 months and not seeing your girlfriend or your friends or your family or going to the gym isn't good.
Yeah.
You're failing. You're not successful because you're unsuccessful because you haven't struck that right balance. And I need to work on making sure that I'm getting that right as well.
More balance.
Yeah.
Thanks, man. We're not perfect, and that's what I like. A few of the guests have been vulnerable enough to say, these are my challenges, and I think that's a really great thing because in the world, especially this model, your business, on being social, it's such a fabricated world.
Oh, mate.
So
there's always something you can be doing. There's always work that needs done, emails to be answered, WhatsApp groups, DMs. You can drive yourself mad with all the stuff you could be doing.
Yeah.
And you've got to have that in a conversation saying, I'm doing the best I can. I'm actually getting pretty good results. And it's all right if I want to have a Sunday where I don't go on WhatsApp. I don't check my DMs. I don't do a post.
Yeah.
God forbid I don't do a post.
Yeah.
And then some days I want to post 10 times. That's cool as well.
Yeah.
You've got to be all right with it yourself.
Yeah.
Don't let anyone say, you must do this amount of posts. You must be on these channels. You must do this to be successful.
Okay.
No one has a book called This Is How to Be Successful.
Yeah.
The book for how to be successful for Mark Wright looks completely different to the book for you.
Yeah.
And for this guy and this guy and this guy and this guy. You need to be understanding that your book is your own deal. And some mornings you might want to lie in bed till 10 a.m. Some days you might want to work for 3 days with no sleep. That's all cool. That's your success. That's your deal.
Yeah.
And once you feel all right with what you're doing, it feels much better.
True.
It feels
100%.
much better. And people always say to me, when you wake up in the morning, do you meditate and then do you do a 9K run and then eat fucking 4 salads? I'm like, God damn, that sounds crazy. I don't want to do any of that, right? I want to get up and some mornings I might have a full English breakfast. Some mornings I might have porridge. Some mornings I might exercise. Some mornings I won't exercise all week.
So you just flow.
I just flow.
Yeah, right.
And I'm all right with the flow.
Yeah.
I enjoy the flow because that's what I'm doing that
feels
day.
better.
What I need to do for my
better.
body, for my health, for my business to be successful. And guess what? It's getting pretty fucking good results.
It is, yeah. So more flow would you recommend that? Do you think
Definitely.
if you get too regimented in a regime?
Yeah.
Do you think it is better to flow?
Yeah, I think you need balance. You need to have some flow. And some mornings, if you wake up on a weekend and you just don't want to get out of bed and have some sleep or watch a film, do it.
Yeah.
Because if that's what you feel like doing, your body and your mind, you need that at that time. If you feel like going for a run for 10 Ks just to let your mind go and really get out there and have some fresh air, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Go and do that. And some days you'll go, I'm not exercising for the life of me today. That's cool as well. But it's what I don't like is saying you must wake up at 6:15 and do an hour's meditation followed by 30 minutes of exercise to be successful. And normally the person saying that isn't successful.
Yeah.
And that's what upsets me. There's no guidebook to success. Yes, work hard. Yes, know what you're doing. Yes, enjoy what you're doing. Yes, be as healthy as possible. But we're a human being.
Yeah, for sure.
We make mistakes. We do stupid shit all the time. Mistakes happen. Bad days happen. Good days happen. And you just need to understand, I'm cool with that.
Mate, a few more questions. A lot of people struggle with life purpose.
Yep.
Now, had you not have come on to The Apprentice, I mean, it's been not a natural progression, but you stepped into it, you won the show, and now you own the business.
Yep.
But for anyone who struggles with purpose in life, do you feel there's anything that good questions they could ask themselves, or a process they could go through to ultimately find their path?
Yeah. It's a great question. Again, you're really doing some good stuff.
Thanks, mate.
It comes back to most people are just settling for average. They get in a job or a career which they don't like, and they stick at it for years. They don't even know why. If you're sitting at your desk and you're looking at the timer to how long you can go, that's a pretty good sign you're in the wrong deal.
Yeah.
You need to go in. When I first did my first job, I hated it. Now, I could have stayed there. There was another girl who worked with me who hated it. She's still there, right? I go in, I hate this. Fucking see you later. Here's my resignation. I'm in the next deal. I hate this too. Next deal. I hate this. Well, this one's okay. I kind of like this, but I'm still not into it. And then I kept trying different things until I hit digital marketing and went, fuck.
Wow. I feel home.
Oh yeah, this feels pretty, and I'm going on deal. I love that meeting. I love that. And you know, I'm really good at this. And actually, Jesus, it's 9:30 at night and I didn't even realize I haven't eaten lunch today. That was the first sign that I'm kind of in the right thing. You know,
Wow.
I was a waiter in a restaurant in Australia called Hog's Breath. I don't know if they got the
Yeah.
fucking shithole. But anyway, I used to take people's orders, and because I'm dyslexic, I can't read and write really good, I'd write down the order. I couldn't read my writing when I got back to the till, so I was drumming in everyone's orders wrong, and I forget, and there's just complaints. And the guy that owned the restaurant said, "You're never going to be anyone, you know?" But I'm never going to be anyone in the restaurant game, right? That's not my thing, right? And then the sports store, I had to put people's shoes on their feet. I hated that. That's like, feels weird. Then everything, and then I got to digital marketing and I just got it. It clicked. It made sense. I understood it. I didn't mind working at it. And I was like, this is what it feels like to love what you do. And it comes back to, I could have stayed in the restaurant. I could have stayed in the sports store. I could have worked for my dad. I could have done all of these things, but I kept trying lots of different things until I found the one that was right for me. And most people don't find their purpose because they settle for the first or second deal that they fall into, first job. If you're not happy in your job, get a different job. Guess what? They all about pay the same. Okay, it doesn't take long to learn an industry, and you'll thank me for it. But people say, well, I've got that, my mobile fill bill, it's £65 a month, and other rent's £450 a month. It's like, big deal, your next job will pay that.
Yeah.
You know, get a credit card, pay it for 1 month and go into the next thing. And then they see me and go, wow, that's life-changing. One different job, one different relationship can change your whole purpose in life.
That's awesome. What's your legacy, Mark, right? How do you want to be remembered individually?
I think I was talking about this with the sales manager this week, and he said to me, the reason he still works for me after all of these years is he's never met anyone like me with the same morals. When I shake someone's hand on a deal, they don't need a contract. When I say something, it happens, and I mean what I say, and I treat people who treat others well, and I don't look after people who don't look after others. And he said, you know, it's very old-fashioned in my approach. And I think if I could end my life having taught as many people about how to make money, how to be successful, how to take care of others through the knowledge of what I know, be successful. I want to speak to as many people and get my message out to as many people as possible, because I know the answers, and I know what I've been taught and how I've built my businesses up. It's like a recipe, and I just want to go and teach other people how to cook. And that's why I'm doing my own seminars. That's why I'm doing as many podcasts as possible, because once someone, and you came to one of my meetups the other day, if you've never heard me speak, you need to come and hear me speak. Because once you hear it once, you're like, fuck, I need to be at every talk, because I know this guy's going to introduce us to, we're going to see Alan Sugar, we're going to see Grant Cardone, we're going to see this, we're going to see this. And once you have the Kool-Aid, once you're in on the deal, opportunities start happening. You know, I will bring you into businesses, you will come in on deals, and because I want to work with everyone. Anyone who wants to work with me, I say, come in, let's do it. And that's what I want. I want to be remembered for the guy that you heard me speak, you saw something, and you then changed something in your life that made you successful.
3 rapid fire questions and then last question.
Awesome.
The first rapid fire question is, what can people do? What's one thing that people can do to live a happier life?
Learn more.
Okay.
Learn more.
Learn more.
Most people are stressed out and desperate because they don't know the answers.
Yeah.
And when you don't know something, it creates stress. The more you can learn about whatever it is, how to raise children, how to be healthier, how to, I don't know, control your debt or your finances. When you have the knowledge, the stress goes down because you know how to deal with the problems.
100%. Yeah. Awesome, mate. So competence is something that they can do to live a happier life.
Yep.
Next question is, what's one thing that people can do to live a more purposeful life?
Well, the more purposeful your life, when you find purpose, it kind of follows on from the first question. Purpose, happiness creates purpose, and they feed each other, they fuel each other. If you're in something you don't enjoy, you're doing something you don't want to do, you don't feel like you have purpose. You know, when you have a really good day at the office, when you make some money, when things are busy, or a decision you've made pulls off, you feel like your purpose is even stronger.
For sure.
And then when you have a really bad day or it's not going so well, you feel like you lose your purpose. The key is having goals, having consistent, measurable goals that you set on a weekly basis and a yearly basis. When you set your purpose for yourself, i.e., I want to be 75 kilos, I want to have 350,000 in the bank, I want to blah, whatever it is. When you have goals, your purpose will move up and down with your happiness like this. When you have goals that are being measured, you need something pulling you forward.
Yeah.
Not pushing you from behind. You need it pulling you forward, right? So having goals is one of the things that it's changed my life. Okay. I have a check in my wallet. Actually, I'll show you now. Look at this. I always write myself at the start of, when I hit the last one, I write myself a check for the next one. So I got 25 million, a check there for 25 million that I can cash on the 25th of the 2nd, 2022.
Is this a real check?
Yes, a real check.
Wow.
But I can't cash it until that date for 25 million. I've got goals scattered everywhere in my, so it's ones that I can touch, see, work with. I had that on me right now, right? There's ones written down for today. There's ones written down in my phone every day. I'll be on the tube, I'll be in the car and say, today I want to do this. This week I want to do this. This year I want to do this. And then I put little green ticks next to them as I do them each week and each day. And then you look at the year and you say, fuck, that was a successful year, but I micromanaged it in days and weeks. And then people say, you seem so happy, you seem like you've got so much purpose. The goals, they're pulling me forward.
Wow, that's so powerful. Being a self-critic, I'd normally go straight on to the next question, but I just want to quickly ask.
Yep.
Being very self-critical.
Yep.
How do you celebrate those goals? Because you could go just goal after goal after goal and not celebrate it, and then that would become soulless.
Yeah.
So what do you do to celebrate the goals?
I do little rewards. So I build in rewards. When I hit X, I get Y. Perfect. So like right now, I've set myself a goal of when I achieve my next 3 goals, I'm taking about 3 days off to lay around a pool in Dubai.
Awesome.
Right?
Yep.
And like it's little things. When I was a cold caller, I used to say after every 25 calls, I made myself a cup of coffee.
Awesome.
And I couldn't have the coffee until the calls were done. So it's like 20, and then I'd be like at 22, I'm like, fuck. Oh yeah, so good. It was like orgasmic.
Yeah.
So, and I'm still the same now. It's just gotten bigger and bigger and bigger. And it's like now when I get in that 25K deal, 75K deal, 117K deal, I get a trip to Dubai.
Fundamentally, I really hope the listeners take that away, mate.
Yeah.
Goals are so important. Thank you so much.
And like you said as well, you need to set building rewards.
Yeah.
Buy that car.
Critical.
Get that new sofa you wanted, that new TV, get Sky, I don't know go to Dubai. Yeah. Because if you just hit it and don't reward yourself, why are you going to be pushing yourself to get to the next ones?
Yeah.
When they're higher.
Mate, thank you so much. The last rapid fire question is, what's one thing people can do to live a regret-free life?
Look, life is a motherfucker. Life is a tough beast. And you're going to have really bad times. You're going to have really good times. The key that I've learned, and I'm only 29 years old, I've got a lot more to learn in my life. And this answer might change when I'm 60. But I think to live a regret-free life and the happiest life that you can, it's all about controlling how you perceive situations. Your perception of things that happen control your success and your happiness. Something could happen right now in this room, and we could think, well, that's ruined the whole interview. Oh, this is a waste, this has not worked. Or it could happen, we'll say, that's awesome, that's added so much value to this. That's so cool, they will love that. Our perception of one thing that happens controls our happiness and our regrets. So you need to control your inner conversation of what's going on in your life, because that's dictating your happiness and your purpose and your regrets. So the more you control yourself and you learn to be happy with whatever's happening, and you understand that not anything that happen, things that happen are good and are bad, but it's your perception of what's good and bad that's driving everything else. So just controlling that. And some things it's going to go good, some days it's going to go bad. We get paid every day. Just enjoy the ride.
Mate, final question.
Yep.
I've really loved this interview.
Mate, I loved it. It's great. Awesome, man.
So final interview. Today was your last day.
Yep.
And I handed you a piece of paper and a pen. And you had one thing that you could write down on that piece of paper to inspire future generations to believe in their inner greatness. What's the one thing that you would write on that piece of paper?
Push yourself to the maximum. I think that most people are, they say that we only use 10% of our minds. I think that's so true, and people are only using 10% of their abilities. People are literally living 10% of a life. And even if you can get to 12%, 14%, you're going to have a pretty exciting experience here. And I think that you need to believe it's possible to push yourself and be more than you are, and you need to want to do it. And if I could just write down on a piece of paper, believe who you are and push yourself, believe it's possible and push yourself, be a different world.
Believe in yourself
and
push yourself.
Mate, what
Thanks
a great
for being
interview.
on the show.
Appreciate you, man.
Guys, there you have it. The incredible and inspiring Mark Wright, winner of the 2014 BBC Apprentice here in the UK. I'd absolutely love for you guys to review this one on iTunes. If you feel that you took something positive away from this episode that you can apply in your own life, perhaps a little tip on mindset, or how to approach something in business, do leave us a 5-star review on iTunes. That enables us to really get iTunes to push out our show more. We get more awareness. And I'm really passionate about self-worth and self-belief. So if you feel like you'd like to unite to help me put out that positive message, then I'd really, really appreciate your help. So jump over on iTunes, leave us a 5-star review for the show. Share this episode on social media. You can access all the show notes, just as a reminder, by going to josephdbernardo.com/10. I really appreciate you guys. Thanks so much for being on the show. I really appreciate all your comments, all your feedback. If there's someone that you would love for me to get on the show that you personally know and you think would be a great fit, send me a message on Instagram. That's probably the best place to get me, and I would love to collaborate. Guys, it's time to go out and unleash your inner greatness. Have a great week.